Welcome to this week in the world of wrestling.
Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is our NXT review. I had fun with tonight's episode of NXT, guys. We had an NXT Women's Championship match. We had two tag team matches, one featuring the new NXT Tag Team Champions and the Mechanics, the other seeing if we are indeed ready, willing, and Gable for the future of Jordan Gable. And overall, just a really solid hour that, again, much like last week, laid the groundwork for the episode next week as we inch closer and closer to NXT TakeOver London. Ashton, what did you think of tonight's episode?
I thought that this was a solid episode. I wasn't necessarily quite as excited about this episode as I was last, but I still did enjoy the show. It was a solid show. I think that a lot of the reason why I'm a little bit more kind of, I guess you could say, down to earth, maybe somber, coming out of this episode is because of the final segment and not knowing the result of it.
Right.
So that's really what it comes down to. It's just, we're going to have a long, angry discussion about that to end this episode when we get to it. But other than that, it was a solid episode. So let's get into our first segment.
Absolutely. Heat of the night. I've got no heats of the night or nitpicks, but I thought I would take this segment just to kind of hash out with you a little bit an observation. We were kind of talking about it before recording. Guys, we have been getting a lot of title matches on NXT TV lately. Tonight we got an NXT Women's Championship match. Week prior was the NXT Tag Team title match. No, the week before that, was that the NXT Championship match between Balor and Cruz?
Yes, it was 2 weeks ago, yep.
Yeah, and now next week we've got two NXT title matches, the Tag Team titles and the Women's Championship again. So, wow, they're getting a lot of spotlight, and I like it. Don't get me wrong, I just think it's a very interesting trend. But yeah, I have no complaints or nitpicks. So, Ashton, what about you?
Well, I mean, yeah, no, I don't have any either.
You sure?
I'm probably going to end up having one next week, but we'll talk about that then.
Okay.
I'm not trying to have any preemptive heats of the night. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I completely understand. I know you seem like you'll have a lot you'll want to get off your chest about the ending segment, but we'll get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so let's get the ball rolling, then let us get right into our NXT review. And as your brother, if I'm not mistaken, and please don't be wrong, John, because you rarely ever do this, wasn't it Carmella versus Nia Jax how we opened the show?
It sure was.
Yes! I achieved something, people. Remember this episode. I got something right for once. Yeah.
It's not the first time that you've successfully remembered what the first match was on a show.
It just feels so rare, though, that I have to revel in every time that it does happen.
Oh, man. I really just, yeah, that's unfortunate because... I mean, now it looks like we have some kind of an abusive relationship. I just shit on you all day, every day.
He really
no sense of self-worth whatsoever.
He really doesn't. He treats me good, people. It's just I'm very self-conscious. So with that said, that dark chapter turned. Yeah, man, what I liked about this match, just to keep the review succinct, because there really isn't that much to say anyway, I liked how because Carmella was of a higher level, that she did take it a bit more to Nia Jax, but she wasn't of such a high level that you ever really conceivably thought she's gonna get the win. So it was enough to make Nia Jax go more on the defensive while still making Nia Jax dominant, which she was. I mean, obviously Nia Jax won here with her Uranagi kind of leg drop combination. And yeah, it was a good match for what it was. And Nia Jax continues to build that momentum. I mean, well, no, you know what? I'm going to save that for the ending segment because I had more I wanted to say. But yeah, this is a good match, and I think it achieved what it needed to. What did you think?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, this is a solid match. I thought that this was probably Nia's best match so far.
Definitely.
Which I think speaks volumes for Carmella because Nia has faced some talented women so far. But yeah, I'm just honestly at this point, I'm just looking to see Carmella kind of move past being a jobber at this point.
Yeah, it would be nice to see her get some kind of push.
Yeah, there's a deep irony here because she kind of started out beating a bunch of random women and just kind of squashing people all the time. And some women that I think you and I would agree she shouldn't have necessarily been able to beat, but she did. And that's kind of part of the reason why she was starting to get some heel heat early on in her NXT run. But now it's pretty much the opposite, where she's pretty much universally liked by the NXT audience, and now she's on a losing streak.
Exactly. It's really funny how things work out. And yeah, Carmella's in a very unique place in her career. But Nia Jax, on the other hand, her stock is only indicative that it's going to continue to go up from here. So yeah, solid matchup.
And that's kind of my thing, is that I honestly, I do want Nia Jax to be the next women's champion, and especially now knowing what the alternative is.
Oh, certainly. Look, you put that belt on Nia Jax whenever it is. And again, I'm sure you and I are going to have a very interesting discussion to close the episode out. But the moment you do that, you've got a monster for a champion that I think can really do right by the belt. And to me, I would bring Bayley up to the main roster, then reunite her with her girls and let them just be happy together as the 4 horsewomen on the main roster.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right. Well, that being said, I mean, do you want to move on here?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So after the Carmella Nia Jax match, we had an Alexa Bliss promo. And this was really entertaining. She's sick of hearing about the Iron Man match between Sasha and Bayley, and if she hears about it one more time, she's going to be really blissed off. And that Bayley is just like everyone else, which is why they love her so much. She talks about how the horsewomen left Bayley in NXT where she belongs, and then a ref shows up and says, "Hey guys, just wanted to let you know, Blake and Murphy, you guys are banned from ringside tonight." And then Alexa Bliss says something about how not to worry because tonight she's going to bliss slap Bayley. So now Alexa Bliss's character has evolved to the point that she's replacing non-PG language with the word bliss.
And I love it. It's like,
great.
Yeah, the right amount of cheese.
And I would say the right amount of annoying, too.
Exactly. See, the thing about Alexa Bliss, and I don't say this to denigrate her, although I'm sure it's going to come off that way, she's not anything exceptional in the ring to me.
Oh, no, I don't think anyone would necessarily say she is, though.
But
man, just blinded, like, oh my god, she's perfect, she can do no wrong kind of thing.
Yeah, and while I don't have that kind of like sycophant kind of worship, I will say that she more than makes up for it with her character.
Yeah.
Like I think she has a great heel character, and see that's why I think that people like Sasha Banks though are the best in the world right now, because they have a good mix of both character and ring. Whereas I feel like Alexa, she's more dominated by the latter being the character compared to the former being, the in-ring acumen. So yeah, this is a solid segment. Obviously Blake and Murphy being ejected levels the playing field, so the heel loses their advantage. And yeah, nothing more you can say than that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so then after Alexa's promo, I think I said Alexis the first time, we had another match, Jordan and Gable taking on the Ascension. This is a match I think this match got set up 2 weeks ago, and then the Ascension accepted it last week, so we've been waiting a little while to see this. Really fun match, though. The crowd just loved everyone in this match. They missed the Ascension. We got Ya chants. It was just really fun. And then Jordan and Gable did end up winning. So everything about this match, I can honestly say they did right.
Ashton, I mean, obviously everybody knows how I feel about Jordan and Gable, so I honestly don't even want to say too much about them. What I love about NXT, and I don't want to make it seem like sour grapes, but you almost forget how good certain acts that used to be there were when they were there. Because the Ascension got to have a matchup here, and it just reminded me like how great those guys are in the ring. You almost forget it after a while, because on the main roster they've really been nothing but jobbers having really quick matches. But those guys can go in there, and it was an entertaining tag match. Like, I enjoyed it. Again, like I've been saying lately with certain matches, it checked off all the boxes for me. And the crowd, I mean, somebody said, like, where you and I were watching, because my network was just ass tonight, like, man, I bet they wish that they got even half this reaction on Raw. And I think they're right. Like, it's just crazy to see how things work out. And it was both great and saddening at the same time in a way to see the Ascension back in NXT, because it was great to hear them get that reception, but then it kind of dawns on you, oh, wait, they're on Raw now, and they don't even get this kind of reception anymore because they can't even show what they can do anymore. Yeah. So, yeah, really fun match, but I'll be damned if it wasn't sobering at the same time in its own way. So.
Yep, exactly. So then after that match, we had a video package for Alexa Bliss and Bayley's little feud that we've seen. And then, after the package is over, Bayley cut a promo. She said that respect isn't just given around here, it's earned, that Alexa Bliss is out of her league, and that the other 3 members of the Horsewomen might be gone, but Bayley is here, and the reason she's here is because she's got this, of course referring to the championship, and that Alexa Bliss was going to find out the hard way why Bayley is the champion.
Yeah, I really like this promo from Bayley. It was actually much better than the promo she cut on Alexa Bliss, I want to say, 2 weeks ago. I love the video package that preceded it. I like the intercuts between Alexa being so bratty and heelish with Bayley reading her fan letter. I thought that was a really great technique. So yeah, both these segments together I thought was a proper amount of hype for the main event. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely, yeah, it was good stuff. So then we have our third match of the night, Emma versus, I believe they called her Mary Kate, and the reason that has been all but confirmed is because they were making Full House jokes, so there's that. And this honestly just came down to Emma just kind of showing off. This was like an exhibition match for her.
I like the power showed by Mary Kate, and I can tell you, like, she's a woman that I feel like, I don't know if they want to do any fine-tuning with her, any kind of repackaging. She could be somebody that we have to keep an eye on, because I liked her look, dude. I think she has a good look, and we'll see what the future holds for her. And she got a little bit of offense here, again, showing that power. She struck Emma one time, kind of tried to impose her will in some parts. Ultimately, of course, Emma does get the win with the Emma lock, preceded by that curb stomp that she's introduced. Yeah. But yeah, it was cool seeing yet another new face where you don't know where they're going to end up later on. So yeah, the division keeps growing and keeps adding intrigue.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this Emma character, and I would honestly, I wouldn't even be against her winning the championship eventually.
Oh my god. Dude, let me say, and I don't even say this because I know it's always a running gag on TWitWoW, like, oh, my wife, or in this case, my ex, with Emma and how much I love her and everything. Like, this is the best she's ever been to me. Like, I love the packaging, I love the delivery, and yet, as is often the case in our industry, you look at people like Emma that when it finally really seems to click for them and they get at their best, they're surrounded by people that have already not necessarily leapfrogged her, but are really competing for that spot, because now she's really made it click in an age where Asuka's a thing, Nia Jax is a thing, and stuff like that. And, it's kind of a pity in that way. But yeah, I'm loving seeing Emma do her thing, because she's never been better to me than she is right now. So.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's just kind of keep rolling here. We have a Baron Corbin promo. He says that, I really enjoyed this too, because he opens up with, I'd like to tell you that it wasn't personal, but it was. I just don't like you, Apollo.
He was so blunt in this, like you said, I'd like to tell you it wasn't personal, but it was. I just don't like you. It almost felt like a faux fight between you and me, where it's like, I just don't like your face, Apollo. And then he tells him, you're always destined to be a failure. Like, damn, man. But yeah, ultimately Baron Corbin lays down the challenge for NXT TakeOver London. He wants Apollo Crews in a match. So yeah, and I heard it got confirmed. So we got Baron Corbin versus Apollo Crews for TakeOver London. And yeah, it should be a good matchup.
Absolutely. All right, so Corbin continues here. He's not done. He says that, then this was, I really just wanted to say this because it's an awesome line and Corbin's a badass for saying it. I mean, he did challenge Apollo to face him at TakeOver London, but my favorite line was, he's going to make Crews realize that dreams don't come true in the real world.
Yeah.
He is so good.
He is just the right amount of douche with the perfect amount of credibility to back it up.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's great.
Yep. All right, well, I guess we can move now. So we have Dash and Dawson versus a jobber team. I usually hesitate to call anybody a jobber in NXT because a lot of the time they'll use sort of homegrown talent, just kind of test the waters with them as jobbers to put over more established talent that would have then the under guys would kind of eventually work their way up and kind of get their names and their gimmicks and more established and stuff like that. But if that does happen, more power to them. But regardless, Corey Hollis and John Skyler, I believe their names were only in this match to make Dash and Dawson look good.
Yeah, and I don't even know who was who in this, but I did chuckle a little when the Jobber team finally got the tag that they needed, and the guy walks right into the Shatter Machine. Way to make the most of it, you moron. But I'll tell you what, Ashton, as much as I enjoy the mechanics and the belts look good on them, and it isn't even a critique of them, this segment already kind of showed you how over Bayley is.
Yeah.
Because the crowd didn't want any of it. They did the whole New Day. Hey, we want some Bayley. And it's like, who gave her the keys to the place, man? Because she is running the show. I'm like, damn, she is over. And I only make a big stink about it again because this is women's wrestling. You know, this isn't a Finn Balor or a Joe that we're talking about. You know, it is Bayley. And it just shows, like, how much good that her and the Four Horsewomen have done for women's wrestling in the NXT women's division when that is the highlight that people are actually looking forward to. So, great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So then after this match, we find out, this is some interesting, and actually it wasn't even after the match. It was before the match started, after the entrances. We found out Dash and Dawson are taking on the Vaudevillains next week in a rematch.
Yeah, I have my thoughts about that, but I guess I'll just wait and see how the match plays out, because I'm surprised it's already taking place next week, and I've got a weird feeling about how things are going to go down. But yeah, we got our tag team title match next week.
Yes, we do. All right. So moving on here, we've got a backstage segment. Asuka is about to cut a promo. Tom Phillips asked her to give just a little explanation on the masks that she wears, but Dana Brooke shows up. I guess she was offended by Asuka deciding to pat her on the head, so she challenges her to another match, to a rematch. And John, do you want to tell our audience how Asuka responded?
Asuka takes the mask off. She looks at Dana with a smile and goes, "Yes," and like walks off. It was great. Oh my God, she's terrifying in her own way. Oh man, it was great. And then you have Emma being like, "Well, did she buy it?" And Dana's just like, "Yep, hook, line, and sinker," and they high five because apparently, I don't know, they've laid some kind of a trap. Oh, ladies, you really never learn, do you?
I mean, I don't know, man. Hideo Itami couldn't handle two guys at once. I'm not necessarily saying Asuka can't handle both of these women at once, but I wouldn't just kind of accept it as fact that she can either.
We'll see. We'll see.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. So what happened after this, man?
After this, let's see. We had a Samoa Joe promo. Another really, really well done promo from Joe here. Man, I hate to keep saying this about guys that were in TNA and are now in NXT, but this is the best work of Joe's career.
It really is. I love entitled Samoa Joe. He's just like Regal said that I don't want you there tonight because I'm afraid of what Finn might do to you, you know, as retaliation for what you did to him last week.
But let's be honest here. I'm not going to not be there for my protection. I'm not going to be there for your protection, Finn.
That's such a Mark Henry thing to say or something.
Oh, like, yeah, I guess Mark Henry to a degree.
I'm not there for your protection! So good. Oh, yeah, Joe's wonderful. And we do know that, yeah, Joe and Balor is another matchup confirmed for TakeOver London. So you got your main event right there. And it should be a great matchup, dude.
Yep. Oh, man. All right. Well, man, that's going to be such a great match. Well, and that's the thing too, is one thing that I really like about this whole show is that they actually set up a few things for NXT TakeOver London, and not only did they set up a few things, but they kind of removed a few things as well. That means that we're going to get something different on London because of this show, we know that we're going to have some kind of a different women's championship match on London. And we're not going to have the Vaudevillains rematch on London. So that's two big things that we might have had that we're not going to have.
Exactly.
I like that because it means they're forcing themselves to change it up a bit. And now we do know that Joe is going to take on Balor for the title. And just like I've told you last week, that we were going to get Corbin versus Cruz in a one-on-one match.
Yes.
And no, that wasn't last week either. It was 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So up next, we had our main event of the evening, Alexa Bliss versus Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship. Bliss has a new theme, and it's awesome. It's like an awesome dubstep remix of her old Glitter Glitz Sparkle Bliss theme. Blake and Murphy are banned from ringside, and these women just kind of go at it for, I would say, probably like 12 or 13 minutes.
Yeah, I definitely got time. I feel like it was one of Alexa's best matches. You know, I enjoyed it mainly because she was working, you know, that heel character and everything in it. She even glared at Izzy when she made her entrance. I thought that was a nice touch. Izzy's become such a factor now, I guess, for any feud involving Bayley. It's like, get Izzy involved, you get the emotional investment. So there you go. Yeah, not really much to say, but there was one point where Alexa Bliss, it wasn't necessarily like a Yoshi tonic, but it was like a forceful sunset flip of sorts, and it only got a 2 count, and she was screaming at Bayley like, why don't you give up? Why don't you stay down? And then Bayley slaps Alexa Bliss, and then she catches her in the Bayley to belly for the 3 count. And Bayley retains the NXT Women's Championship. So a solid bout, and I'm glad that we, you know, got it out of the way, and now Alexa Bliss, I guess, can go back to managing Blake and Murphy, and I don't know what's on the horizon for those guys.
I don't know, man. I kind of want her to kind of stay in the women's, not even necessarily the women's championship picture, just the women's wrestling scene. Like, I want to see her against other girls. Like, I want to see her against Billie Kay or Peyton Royce, and I want to see her maybe take on Carmella, because I remember they've had matches before, but not since both of them have improved as much as they have. And
right.
Just interesting to me.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I would totally be down with Alexa, you know, mixing it up more in the ring, because I think, you know, that's how she'll develop her character more in ring and become more of a heel force. So I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have Bayley celebrating. Here I'm thinking, oh, we're going to go home pleasant. Ashton knew better. He knew something was coming, but I don't think either of us knew what exactly was coming. And you want to take this one?
Do I?
Do you?
Well, you know what? Let's just charge right through it.
Okay.
Eva Marie comes out, and she's got massive nuclear GTFO levels of heel heat. She tells Bayley that Bayley is going to be defending the title against her next week.
Yeah. You know, how do you even approach this? Yeah, Eva is very interesting in how she handles said heat, because when she realized they weren't going to let him talk, what's her retort? Okay, shut up, dorks. Oh, God, the burn. How am I going to recover from this? Yeah, it's awkward, it's clunky, but here's the thing. Anybody who's been watching us, especially from our very early days, know that we have a very simple philosophy. You get the negative out of the way first so you can celebrate wrestling for the beauty and the majesty that it is, and certainly no better place to do that than NXT. I'm grateful they're getting this match out of the way on TV, because honestly, dude, this convinces me. Yeah.
What? I think Eva's going to win the thing.
No, you didn't let me finish my statement of optimism before you just killed it. I was going to be like, they're going to get it out of the way on TV because I really think Nia Jax Bayley for TakeOver London.
Yeah, that's cute, except we saw Nia Jax and Eva Marie talking in the locker room last week.
Oh, don't remind me that happened.
It happened, John.
Oh, but you don't delight in telling me that it happened. You could at least, you know,
Do I sound delighted?
No. You really think Eva's gonna win? Don't you die on me.
Okay, John, look, here's my thing.
Okay.
Next week's show is the first show on a set of tapings that happens tomorrow night.
Right.
Which means no spoilers are available to kind of ease our minds and let us know that NXT was smart and kept the title on Bayley.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, what this match should be is a squash match where Eva realizes just how out of her league she is trying to actually wrestle a decent, talented female wrestler, and not just somebody that hasn't been established at NXT yet, somebody that they're just kind of feeding her.
Right. You know, my only saving grace, you know, I had one before that with Nia Jax, but then you just obliterated that like nobody's business. I guess the only saving grace I have left title change or not, maybe the match will be good. I mean, apparently they faced each other at live. Well, no, apparently they faced each other at live events.
I've heard the rumors that they faced each other at live events and that it was solid matches all around. I get that, but still, why?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. No wonder you said that you had stuff you wanted to get off your chest because you believe she's gonna win the damn thing. I mean, here I'm thinking.
I genuinely, John. Here's the thing. Do I legitimately think that Eva Marie is going to win the NXT Women's Championship next week? Not necessarily. But what I do think is that I would rather expect the worst and be happily and surprised than expect the best and be disappointed.
That makes perfect sense to me in a situation like this, because the last thing you want to do is set yourself up for a fall, because let me tell you something, the fall is steep. But yeah, you know, I don't even know why, because look, you can't even tell me, and this is what really kind of irks me, right? You can't even tell me it's too late to pull the plug. We've seen WWE do things last minute or whatever when they feel a certain way about a given prospect or project or whatever. Like, they should have known long ago to pull the plug on this Eva Marie thing. The fact that they're not only still committed to it, but now she really is in the NXT Women's Championship picture getting a title match next week boggles the freaking mind.
Yeah.
Because I've heard instances of WWE, you know, giving up on better performers or just going in a different direction with better performers.
Yeah.
And Eva, they've still got this stock in her. Like, it really is mind-boggling. Like, it really makes you look at your place as, like, a wrestling fan in the wrestling business and, like, are they just going a different direction than I envision myself going with it? Like, dark times, man, when people can still stay behind Eva and be like, oh, she can do it. No, she can't. And there's really nothing wrong with telling people at times that they can't do something. You might find that you're bettering them for it. But here we are. And I don't know. You know, I'm with you. You know, I don't necessarily believe that Eva is going to win next week, but here's the other thing too, if I'm being honest. Would it surprise me if she went over? Not really. With how committed they've been to her push and everything, I couldn't say that I'd be too stunned about a 3 count. But let me tell you this, and it's not even her fault, but I do kind of a little bit lose investment in not just the division, but kind of Nia Jax as part of that division, because I feel like Bayley is the perfect babyface to give Nia Jax that title. Like,
I completely agree, but in NXT's mind, nobody is more over as a heel right now than Eva. Even if it is the wrong kind of over, Bo Dallas was the wrong kind of over when they gave him the championship too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and the funny thing is, it's so funny you bring up Bo and Big E, because I won't say that Big E was the same level of over as Bayley, but it was comparable in my mind. People loved Big E down in NXT. Like, the 5 chants were insane, and the 5 gimmick just insanely over. Bayley's the same way. I mean, again, like, people wanted to gloss right over the mechanics tonight and get right to Bayley. It seems eerily similar. I can't believe you even brought up that, because when I really reflect on it, the parallels are quite real to me, and we could see right down to the finish it replicated. And I know me and Ashton have said, guys, so it's not that, you know, baby faces like Bayley never have long title reigns, but you want to put the right heel over. I just don't think Eva's that right heel. Oh, my God. Oh, this could get cringeworthy next week.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and that's my whole thing, is I think that they're just going to have Nia Jax help Eva to win the title.
Oh, God. But then here's the thing, then. Are you just going to try and make Nia Jax a babyface then? Because
they'll probably eventually do that, yeah. She's a frickin' relative of The Rock, so of course.
Why can't she just be heel, though? Like, I don't understand anything anymore.
When was the last time you saw a heel that smiled all the time?
That is true. Yeah. I guess you're right. Oh, God, people. You know.
That was even painful for me to hear, and you told me that I was the one that was right. It hurts.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Reality sucks. Well, I really have nothing more to say on the subject, because, you know, I'm just going to start repeating myself soon enough and it'll begin to stagnate, so we might as well move on, unless you have anything else you want to say.
No, I don't have anything else that I want to add.
Yeah, because I don't really think, at least on my end, that crying is really contributing to the discourse, so we'll move on. Next segment, high spots and low shots. Gonna make my low shot very straightforward. Alexa Bliss. You know, it's pretty rough when you find yourself with a title match, but you're unable to ascertain the championship. And that's exactly where Alexa Bliss found herself. So, yeah, pretty straightforward this week. She's my low shot.
Yeah, I don't blame you there at all. I think just to kind of keep it simple, I'm gonna make my low shot Corey Hollis and John Skyler because man, they got that hot tag and that hot tag he just fell right into the shatter machine, didn't he?
He really did. You know what? Just to get the bad taste in my mouth from the preceding discussion and the foreboding implications, my high spot is Jordan and Gable. They beat a team that commentary was really putting over as the gatekeepers, as kind of the people that you beat if you really want to arrive as a tag team and be looked at as legitimate. And since Jordan and Gable did that in a kayfabe sense, a future NXT tag team title opportunity can't be that far behind. And especially with the Vaudevillains getting their rematch out of the way next week, a big space is going to be cleared, and I think I'm ready, willing, and Gable to see Jordan and Gable take their crack at that NXT Tag Team Championship gold. So they are my high spot, if not just for the immediate present, for what could be a very promising future.
Yeah. I think my high spot, again, working on getting that terrible taste out of our mouths, is going to be Bayley, because she talked herself up and told Bliss that she wasn't in the same league as Bayley, and she proved it.
Absolutely. Got the W, and still NXT Women's Champion, but of course that storm cloud looms for how much longer. With that said, do you have any closing remarks you'd like to make?
I don't.
Alright, neither do I. So with that said, this has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW. The best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment and subscribe on YouTube. Ashton, what question do you have for our audience this week?
Guys, somebody please reassure me. Who's winning between Bayley and Eva Marie next week? And who's winning between the Vaudevillains and the Mechanics next week as well?
Yeah, I do have my own thoughts about the tag title match. I'll be mum about it, though, because we're closing out here. But yeah, I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts about both the NXT Tag Team Championship and the NXT Women's Championship. Look at Ashton, people. He needs your assurance. Give it to him. And give it to me, too.
Don't just tell me you think that Eva's going to lose just for the sake of reassuring me, though. Tell me what you really think.
Exactly. Be honest. But it would really be nice if you were honest and optimistic at the same time. So,
but prioritize honesty over optimism.
Yeah, definitely a priority. Definitely prioritize that honesty. But when you're done conversing there, be sure to take the conversation over to Pletov, an amazing pro wrestling group on Facebook. We've got one of our members now actually making creator wrestlers on 2K16 of some of the long-standing members. So see, we got a lot of creative stuff going on. But I get it. If you don't like that kind of stuff, if you're like, I'm not really in the mood for notifications 24/7, you know, whatever, you want a nice, quieter space that's still active, Ashton's created a TWitWoW subreddit. There you will find all of our TWitWoW content, and you'll be able to create threads of your own about pro wrestling for myself and Ashton, really anybody that's part of our TWitWoW subreddit to answer, so we got a nice little community there. Until then, guys, yeah, that should be it. We will see you again tomorrow for Luchador Spotlight. We're going to be doing Drago. And then remember, guys, big weekend this weekend. We've got Survivor Series preview and predictions coming on Saturday, and Survivor Series live reactions on Sunday. So we got a lot of content coming your way. I think we also have another Luchador Spotlight that'll be coming Saturday as well. So like very jam-packed weekend. And yeah, we just hope that you guys are there with us and you enjoy it. Until then, tune in and peace out.